Good day. Welcome to the third installment of how to draw architectural CAD. So today we are going to work on uh, blocks. So I want to kind of go over some of this stuff with you. So the block command up here is a great tool so that you can build up a library. Okay, so I'm gonna back up here and I want you to look at it. This is my library. Okay, I got tons of crap in here. And so what I want you to do is to start with, I want you to, pull up your blank. All right, and you can go to view, and I want you to open up this block here. Now, your block may pop up somewhere in the middle like this right here, but if you grab this side piece, put it over here, you can dock it and it'll be out of your way. As you can see, you've already got one block in here, architectural title block. And if you just click on that, pull it out into your palette and drop it, it's going to ask you if you want to rotate it. So usually if you don't want to rotate it, you just hit enter and it accepts it. So you can go in here and change this. Yours probably says name and firm here. And one of the ways that I can change this is I can go up here to the blocks and I can hit edit, and I want to change that architectural title block. So it opens up a little editor here, and I can go in here and I can highlight my name, and I want to maybe increase it, make it a little bit bigger. Let's see if sometimes the center justify works. Yes. So if I change the justify over to center, it gives me a center node. All right. So I want to get this centered perfectly in this little box here. So I'm going to go back over and to home. So I was in the block editor. I'm going to go back over to home, and I'm going to hit line, and I'm going to find the center of that box. Make sure that your snap is on, and make sure that pretty much all of these are on. You have the check mark on those. I'm going to find the center of that, and I'm going to pull down. All right, so now I have that, and all I got to do is grab that node and bring it over to that little line right there, and there it is. It's centered. Okay, so you can go and add let's see if it'll do, it won't. You can go in here and, you can copy this a couple of times if you need to. And then what I want you to do is, put in your address. And if it's long like this right here, we're gonna have to change the height on this. We'll go ahead and just spell this all the way out. So that's my address there. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. So that was 0.25. So I'm going to try 0.125. So I'm going to go back down to an 8. That's a little bit too small for me. Another way that I can do this is go into scale, and I can click on that and I can make it bigger this way. So that looks a little bit better like that. I'm going to highlight. What I'm doing is I'm double clicking on that, and I'm going to type in Morganton, North Carolina. Whoops, too many. North Carolina 28655. All right. Now I want to keep this the same as this one here. My name is okay to be big. So I'm going to go up here to the match properties, click on match properties, click on the first one, click on the second one. There it goes. It's now the same size. All right. Down here, I'm going to type in my email address. Spelling it correctly. Okay, and then again, I'm going to try this. It's probably going to be too long. So it's too long when I try to match the properties of those two. So I'm going to have to go down just a little bit. So again, to make it simpler, I'm just going to grab the scale and pull out so that it's about even, in here. And so again, I want to put my line back. And I want to make sure that all of these are centered, because that's what I thought. I thought that was off center. That one's on. That one's good. Okay, once I get what I want, release that line or get rid of that line. I can go in here, you know, if I'm doing this for Jane and Joe Doe, then I can go in here and change this address as well. And then when I'm done, I'm going to go back up to the block editor and I'm going to choose close editor, and it's going to ask me a question. Do you want to save this or do you want to discard it? I want to save it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save it. Now you can see that it is like that. Now, what if I get rid of this? The good thing about a block is once I save it, then it'll always be there forever and a day. Okay. So let me explain the explode mode. Let's say that we want to change something else about this. So we can highlight that and we can hit explode. And I can come up here and you know, if I wanted to, this is just another way of changing it. You could still use the editor, by the way, but this is just another way of changing it. I want to scale that a little bit bigger. Put that back into place. Notice that I'm just right clicking. When I highlight that, I'm right clicking, and I know sometimes I don't say all my moves as I'm doing them, and I apologize for that. Now let's say that we want to save this as my block. You know, it's got a name, architectural title block, but let's say that I want to change it to Hurley title block. All right, so what I want to do is I want to highlight the whole thing, and I want to come up here to explode. I'm going to explode it. That means it's all individual pieces again. Okay. Maybe I want to change this general note. Now you can still go to the editor, but just keep in mind this is just a different way in which you can change these settings. Let's say, for instance, I don't like this, you know, the general note under this style, and I want to change the style. Maybe I want to make it more bold, and I'm going to increase the scale to where it looks a little better and it doesn't, you know, kind of get lost in that. All right. So once I do all of the creating that I want to do, then I'm going to highlight this whole thing. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to hit create. All right. So once I get in here, I'm going to call this Hurley layout. And I'm going to pick a point. So it's asking for the base point. I'm going to pick a point. Click on that. It's going to make sure that your convert to block is checked. All right. And that should be everything. Pick point, convert block. Yes. Okay. So now that I've done that, you'll notice that another one pops up here. All right. And so when I click on that one and pull it in, then my changes are made in that as well. And now it's a new block. Pretty simple. Okay. If for some reason that your block menu is not open, you can always go up here to hit insert, and then it will drop down and show you a couple of blocks. And let me go over here to this other drawing and show you what I mean. So if I hit insert here, it takes a little bit, and I'm going to show you why. Because there's so many freaking blocks in here. All right. I have tons and tons of blocks that are in here. Now, if I want to get rid of some of these blocks, then I can purge it. I will show you that later. So this is what your assignment is going to be. You're going to be drawing this stuff. We're going to start doing our window libraries and our door libraries so that we have a whole bunch of stuff in here. Now, you'll notice that you got a couple of things here. Let me go back over to mine. So in here, the current drawing, and then recent ones. Obviously, I've been doing a lot of drawing lately. My favorites, and then a library. Now, what if I want the one in the current drawing? Maybe he's not showing up in the favorites. I'm going to go up here to current drawings. I'm going to click on the one that I want to save, and I'm going to say copy to favorites. Okay. Now, when I go over here to my favorites, it should be there. It better be there. There it is, right there. Okay, so it'll add that to your personal library, and you'll see that I've tons of stuff. Guess what? You guys are going to draw all this crap, okay? Yes, I have drawn all this crap. So let's start fairly simple. All right, so I want you to click on the rectangle up here, come back down into your palette, and just kind of go to the side a little bit. And I want you to type in, and this is going to be huge, so I'm going to go on down here because we're going to be drawing some 2x4s and so forth. Okay, so in the first number there, I want you to type in 3.5. You don't have to put inches because inches is default. And then 1.5 for the height, and hit enter. All right, so now I have a real 2x4 that is 1.5 inches by 3.5 inches. I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to change it over to reference. Okay. I'm going to click on line. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to hit that corner to that corner, this corner to that corner, highlight those two lines, and I'm going to make that, well, I was going to make it hatch, but I forgot I haven't put hatch in there. So let me go into this and I want to hit new. Didn't mean to do both of them. And I'm going to change, I'm going to name this hatch. And I'm going to go over here and hit the blue color. And I want to make sure that my line weight is 0, 0. Yes. Okay, close that. Now I'm going to highlight these lines and make them hatch. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to make this a block. So I'm going to highlight everything and I'm going to go up here to create. I'm going to call it a 2x4. You could put 2x4 section, but it just, for me, it's simpler just say 2x4. I want to pick my point. You could pick it in the center, you could pick it here, but generally you're going to line this up to something already in a drawing. So what I usually do is pick a corner, and then it's going to say, hey, is all of this information look right? Yes, I want to convert it to a block. Hit OK. Now when I highlight this, it's now a block, and it popped up over here. All right, let's do this again. I'm going to click once, and I'm going to type in 5.5 and 1.5. There's a 2x6. All right, I'm going to highlight this and make it reference. I'm going to click on line or type the letter L, and it should pop up. Now remember that I was hitting, when the first time I drew it, I still have that command in there. If you'll notice right down here, if I just hit enter, it will take me right back to that same command. So I don't have to keep going back and forth to hit line. I'm going to highlight those and make them hatch. Highlight them all, and I want to create a 2x6. Pick point. We'll go right down here and click on the same corner. Check your information before you hit yes. Okay, so there it goes. It's popped up there again. Now, I want you to keep going until you get all of your dimensional lumber. Now, when you get into the larger stuff, let's say, for instance, let's go ahead and draw a 2x12. I usually have a 2x12 standing up rather than laying down because we don't hardly ever draw a 2x12 standing up. So in this case, I'm going to put in 1.5 first, and then I'm going to put in 11.25. 11.25 is the exact measurement of a 2x12. All right, highlight that, make it into the reference. Escape. I'm going to hit line. Enter, 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 highlight, hatch. Highlight it all, create, 2x12, pick point, lower corner, OK. And now you see over here, I have my 2x12 and it's standing on end. Okay, I want you to do that for the following. And I will give you this. Now, what I'm getting ready to do here, and I'll explain in just a minute. So I want you to put in 2 by 2, and a 2 by 2, does that give me? Yes, it does. A 2 by 2 gives me is actually 1.5 by 1.5. Now, sometimes, and I'm going to put this in parentheses, when you take a 2 by 4 and you cut it in two, you don't get 1.5 by 1.5. You get 1.5 by 1.75. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there just like that. Next up is a 2 by 4. 1.5 by 3.5. Now, again, to get it to lay down, you would put in the 3.5 as the X. So you'd put it in first. So let me just put that the way. So 3.5 by 1.5. Okay, so that way it'll lay flat in that direction, not up. 2 by 6, 5.5 by 1.5. 2 by 8 is, now we're going to change it over, 1.5 by 7.25. Remember that we lose an extra 1/4 inch when we get to the 2 by 8s. 2 by 10 is 1.5 by 9.25. And 2 by 12 is 1.5 by 11.25. Okay. So at this point, what I want you to do is I want you to hit print screen. So if you hit print screen, you'll get this little snippet thing that pops up here. And if you don't if you don't get the snippet, that's okay. I'll show you here in just a minute. So I want you to just highlight, come on, don't let go. So I just, I want you to pull that up, copy that, and go down into your search bar and type in paint. Open up paint. And then I want you to hit Control V on your keyboard. And there it is. You can keep that. Now remember that you can Alt Tab back and forth so that you can see these. And as you're drawing them, you can tab back over here to get your sizes to make sure that you're doing that correctly. If you want to save that, go ahead and save as and call it whatever you want. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of this. No, I'll just leave it. Leave it with that. The next thing that I want you to do after you finish your 2-bys and you've got them over here, make sure that you right click on those and copy to favorites. Now remember, I got a bunch of crap already and I've got most of mine already drawn, so I'm not going to do that. But what I want you to do is I want you to save all of the ones that you change and make sure that they're in favorites. Okay, your next assignment is I want you to start drawing windows and doors. And don't worry, I have these all fixed up here for you, and I'll go over that in just a second. What I want to do is I want to bring your attention to this over here in Moodle, where I have Windows. So if you click on Windows, and I'm gonna right click on Windows because I want it to open up in a new tab. Okay, so open in a new tab, and then I can click on that, and that opens up in a new tab. Well, I guess I was wrong. So let's just get rid of that. I'm gonna try that again. If I click this, is it gonna? Yes, it does open in a new window. I need to go in here and fix this right here because they get on me if I don't put that in there. Opens in a new window. I can't look at I can't look at the screen. I got to look at my fingers. Opens in a new win. Surely I've got window in there. Yes, I do. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is a particular manufacturer called JailWin. You can use any manufacturer that you want, But if you scroll down here, it gives you all these crazy sizes in here and their rough openings and stuff. So what I want you to do is I want you to start drawing some of these. And but you can see that these are awful messy. There's a ton of lines in there. When you put all these lines in a CAD drawing, when you go to print it, since all of these are so close together, you might just get a blob. I mean, it just, it looks terrible. So let's go back over to CAD, and what I want you to do is look right here. And again, I want you to print screen, snippet, open up Paint, Control V, save it as window drawing. I don't care what you save it at, just to where you can get to it, again, using Alt Tab, back and forth, so you can draw that. So we're going to go in here, and I'm going to help you start one. Now, one thing to note is these numbers right here are in inches. These are not in feet and inches. And sometimes you'll see in my drawings, these are feet and inches. So basically what I want you to do is I want you to set up a library similar to this. And again, you can snip this and save it if you'd like. And up here, I want you to type in 24. This is inches, 24 inches, 28 inches, 30 inches, 36, 38, 30, 48, 24-inch twin means that there's, two of them, and so forth and so forth and so forth. When you go down, I want you to put in the height. Notice here that it says 2030. That's 2 foot, 3 foot. So it is under 36.24. All right. So I have all of that worked out. You can set up a grid system, and let me show you how to do that real quick. So go up here to your construction line. If you don't have it up here, it'll be right down here under Draw, Construction Line. Pull into here, and I want you to right click, put in horizontal, and you can just click anywhere. But since I've already got one here, notice when I get close to the edge of that, it pops up on that. All right, so I can put that in, and I'm going to do a bunch of those. Again, horizontal, and I want all of these to line up in my library. I missed that one. Okay, windows, the tag point should be at the top. So that's why all of my windows I want to line up across the top, because they line up at the head rather than the bottom. When I get the construction line again, I'm going to go vertical. And again, I'm clicking on construction line, and I'm right clicking. Okay. Click on construction line, right click, vertical. So I'm going to go here again, and I'm going to just type or click on the upper left-hand side. You could do the right side if you want to. It really doesn't matter. Sometimes I'll actually even click in the center of it. So either way you want to go. But just get it. I want you to set it up to where it looks nice and uniform like this right here. Go ahead and put in your inches here. But then when you go to put your window in, I want you to give it a designation as feet and inches. So 2030. Now, what about if you get 10? So if you go down here to somewhere where I have it, I know I've got it. There it is. This is 3 foot 10, 2 foot 0 by 3 foot 10. And that will be your designation numbers for your windows. Now, you've got quite a few. You can, like I say, you can clip this, save it, and look at this if you want to. You can set these up according to the manufacturer if you want to. And this particular manufacturer uses an oddball size, but I mean, they give it the designation 2936. But if you go up here and look at the, and this is, let me just pull over. This is the rough openings. All right. The rough opening is 30. So I just kind of round it off and make it 30 inches. Okay. So it's, you know, you don't want to put this wide window in for something like this, but don't worry about the, you know, the 30 and an 8. Don't worry about, you know, if you want to draw it 29, draw it 29. If you want to draw it 30, draw it 30. You remember that there is a difference between actual and nominal dimensions. For instance, this is the actual dimensions, and this is the nominal dimensions. I'm going to end up singing Phenomena here in a minute. So back over here, I'm gonna get rid of this and clean it up. So once you're done with your construction lines, you just highlight them, get rid of them. The sausage biscuit's coming back to talk to me a little bit. Okay, so to start with our windows, very, very simple. I'm gonna go over here where you don't see that. Where is, oh, there it is. Okay, so you'll notice I got some things going on here. So I'm going to start with this varies. Okay. I'm going to start with this center piece right here, this inside yellow. Okay. I'm going to click on rectangle. And, you know, I looked at this, and I'm going to do 30 by 36. Okay. So when I go over here, I'm going to click on my rectangle, and I'm going to give it one corner, pull down, or pull up, either one. You can put it in as inches, or you can put it in as feet. So 30, tab, 36, sorry, hit enter. And there is my first little window. So that should be like this one here, or excuse me, this one here, 30 by 36. So I have the inside here portion of it that is 1 1/8 inches away from that line we just made. So I'm going to go up here to offset, and I'm going to type in 1 hyphen 1/8 of an inch. Okay. Now, 1/8 of an inch in decimal forms is 1 divided by 8. See that number, 0.125? So if you memorize your decimal points as well, hit offset, come over here and type in 1.125, which is the same thing. It's going to change it to 1/8. I'm going to click on the line, and I want to make sure that I want to go to the inside. So my next point is going to be inside the rectangle that I just made. All right, I'm going to highlight this outer one, and I'm going to call it window, a window, but I'm going to change the color on this particular one to yellow. Okay, so now I have that. Now I'm going to come back in here, and I'm going to change this one over to a window, but I'm going to leave it by layer. Let's go back over to our drawing. Notice that down here at the bottom, it's 2.5 inches. And up here, it's 1 inch. So I started with 1 1/8. So what's the difference between 2.5 and 1 1/8? If we go over to our handy dandy calculator and we put in 2 inches and 1/2, subtract 1 inch and 1/8, we end up with 1 3/8. Why do you need to know that? Watch this. I'm going to click on this object here, and I'm going to come down here to the bottom, and I'm going to grab that node in the center, and I'm just going to grab it and go up a little bit. I want to make sure, why is it popping back and forth? There we go. Make sure that you're straight up and down, okay? And you can try your best to do, you see that little where it says polar, you can try to move that 1 1/8, but it's really just, or 1 3/8. It's really just simply just type in 1 hyphen 3/8. Okay, so you just moved that one little thing 1 3/8 up. This one here needs to go to an inch. So obviously 1 point or 1 and an eighth less 1 is an eighth of an inch. So I'm going to click on the node. I'm going to move it up, and I'm going to move up 1/8 of an inch. Okay, let's test this. Okay, so there's 1 inch, and there's 2.5 inches. So that's perfect. Okay, go back over to our drawing. We got these lines in the center here. Okay, so this is the sash. This is a double hung window. So looking from the outside, you will notice that, you know, this line goes all the way out. So this is the top sash. This is the sash that's outside. I'm going to go to line, and I'm going to find the center of my outside or my yellow line, and I'm going to go all the way across to the midpoint to midpoint. So now I have cut that thing dead in two, and I'm going to match the properties to that line. Okay, so now they're all the same color. They're all the same. Yeah, that. So now this is 1 1/4 inch. And we get back over to the right drawing. They're all the same layers, is what I'm trying to say a minute ago. So I'm going to highlight. I'm going to offset 1 hyphen 1/4, or you can type in 1.25, and I'm going to offset it up. Hit enter. Okay, now I want to do some trimming. I'm going to trim, and I want to get rid of this line, here, and here. Now it looks like that. Okay, go back over to our drawing. This outside trim here, in this particular case, it's 4 inches. Most cases, you're going to put a 3.5 inch piece of wood around it, or you're going to put a 5.5 inch piece of wood around it. So whichever you want to use, I have both. So back over to CAD, I'm going to offset again. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to say 4 inches. Okay, so now I'm pretty much done with my window. One thing in CAD is you need to show that this is glass in here. How do you do that? Very simply, and this is going to be where you're going to make another block. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab a line, and I'm just going to pull it down, 4 inches or so at some kind of weird angle. It don't matter. Okay, just put your line in there that is much smaller than your window. I want you to hit, and actually, let's just hit offset, and let's put in 1 inch. And then what I want to do is I want to shorten this one that way, shorten this one that way, so that I have something that looks similar to this. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so don't worry about that. This is good enough. All right, I want you to highlight that, and I want you to call it hatch. Okay, so now it is 3 separate objects that are hatched. Highlight them all. Go to create block and type in WW. Okay, that's window wipe. So WW. Click on pick point. Grab the center of that line right there. Make sure that it's converted to the block and hit OK. Now you have a block popped in here window window. So I'm going to move this back over into the window here. And I'm going to grab me another one. I'm going to put it down here. Whoops. That's one thing you have to hit enter for it to accept the rotation, not escape. And that's what I just done. So now, hey, now it looks like a window. Now we said that this window was what size did I done forgot. It is, really need to work on that, get that. It's 2630. So I'm going to highlight all of this. I'm going to create. I'm going to say that it is a 2836. No, I know what it's a 30, wasn't it? 30. Oh, you can name it any way you want to, either inches or feet. For some reason, I'm just drawing a blank all of a sudden. So yeah, 3036. You don't have to put window, but what I do is I put in DH, and that is for double hung. I want to pick my point. And again, you can do the center, or you can do a side, whatever is up to you. I like doing a side, and when we start doing elevations, I'll explain why I like doing a side. So I'm just going to click that point right there, and I'm going to accept it. Now I have my first window that's popped in here as 3036. Okay, so that's 30 inches by 36 inches. And there you go. So what I want you to do is I want you to create a library very much like what I've got here with different size windows. Look at the charts, or you can look at this. Now, I don't want to confuse you by this now. So let me explain something real quick. So a 2032, so that's 2 foot 0 inches by 3 foot 2. If I have a designation ending in 2, it is a clad window, meaning that it has a metal, it's a wood window, but it has metal protecting it on the outside. If it ends in 0, it's a vinyl window. Okay, so that's that. I don't want to confuse you on that. And 4-6 could be either, but if it ends in a 0, it's vinyl. If it ends in a 2, it is clad. But that's just my notes. You don't have to do that. If you want to, when you're doing this here, if you want to just follow these, you can very well do that. Okay, no problem. Just remember, instead of doing like 41, it's probably easier to do 40, 37, make it 36. Round those off 24, 20. Okay, just round those off to make it simplistic for you so that you're not going crazy. Let's see. So that was the window. Okay, so I want you to continue, repetitive drawing over and over and over is going to get you to learn this stuff much faster. So that's why I want you to draw so many. And I apologize for that. No, I don't. So next I want you to draw the plan version of the very same thing. So again, I want you to print screen, snip it in the bud, go over to paint, and put her there, pal, put her there. So your exterior walls are generally going to be 4 inches or 6 inches. And so we want to go ahead and draw the plan version of our windows so that we can just drop those in as we go along. All right, so however many widths you have made, that's how many of these you need to make. Let's go back over here to my little windows and doors drawing. Okay, I'm down here. See, I've got all of these different ones all the way across through here. Okay. So let's draw. Where am I? Oh, let's draw this together. It's not that hard. All right, so I can come back up here to the window that I just drawn, and I'm going to add some construction lines. So I'm going to click on construction line. Remember, I can get to it here if you've done it, if you've got it up here, or I can get to it here. Okay. And when I pull my cursor down into the palette, I'm going to right click and go vertical. And I'm going to hit this outside, this outside, this outside, and that outside. So I have that. If for some reason you see I've got some double lines in here, it's not looking very good, I want you to type in RE for regen. That regenerates the screen so that it clears it up, and because we're doing this all day long, it's like the video card goes crazy, so it doesn't like that, and it looks like I didn't hit that. Make sure that you hit the corners right. Okay, so again, I'm going to hit regen. I'm going to start with me a line, and it don't matter where it is. If it doesn't want to, if you don't have that hourglass thing there, make sure you come over here to your snaps and hit nearest. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to click from here. Nope, I'm going to click from here to here. I'm going to do my inside lines. I'm going to offset 4 inches. Okay, I want to highlight those 2 lines, and I want to trim the inside out. Actually, you shouldn't have done that. Yeah. Well, I know that is, see, it's there. I know why. Regen again, highlight my lines, trim, still taking the whole thing. Why is it taking the whole thing? I'm going to push shift to make it extend. Oh, I can't do that. So if they're highlighted, you can't extend them. But I'm going to extend it just a little bit past that, just like that. And then I'm going to trim both of them. This is so weird. Why is this doing this to me? Why is it not registering that line? It acts as if they're not touching, and they are. Okay, so fine. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to copy this line. And I'm going to put it over here. Don't ask me why. I don't know. Jesus, Pete. Okay, so these 2 outside lines, I'm going to change them to a different color. Actually, I'm going to change these 2 other ones out here to a different one as well. So the 2 outside, or the top and the bottom line, I'm going to change into a window, and I'm going to make them yellow. These 2 outside lines, they're currently 0. I'm going to make them wall. Okay, because they'll be part of the wall. Okay, if we come back over to our handy dandy drawing, okay, I want to offset this bottom line 1.5 inches. So I'm going to offset 0.5. I'm sorry, offset 1.5. I like that. I'm going to extend that out just like that. And actually, I'm going to extend these 2. I'm going to extend that one and that one out. Now, let's see if this trim works this time. Geez. Okay, we're going to trim that there. See, it doesn't do it. It doesn't like me today for some reason. It does that side, but it will not do that side. Even if I make this bigger, it will not trim it. Huh. So I'm going to copy that. Actually, I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm going to get rid of only this one. I'm going to highlight this side, and I'm going to copy that over here. And now I'm going to get rid of this line here. No, I'm not. I'm going to reshape this line to make it this size here. I'm going to highlight these outside ones. I'm going to change those colors. I'm noticing something else too. That line doesn't have but 1 node on it. That has 3. I explode that. What does it do? It won't explode it. Why does it not give me 3 nodes? There's something funky going on. So just so you know, the other day when we had a big rainstorm, my computer's been acting a little funky. Yours should not be. When you highlight that line, there should be 3 nodes on there, and I don't know why there's not 3 nodes. That's really weird. Nevertheless, I'm going to highlight these 3 lines, and look at that one. That one's on the other side. That is so weird. And I'm going to change this to a window, and I'm going to go back and make sure that it is bilayer. Okay, so I want that color. I want the magenta, and I want these 2 yellow. I'm going to actually get rid of this line, right? Let me check that. No, I'm wrong. Leave that line in there. My bad. Leave that line in there. I'm going to highlight the bottom line. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to put it right in the center. What is the distance between those 2? It is 1.25 inches between those 2 lines right there. So I want to make this the center of it, so I want to offset it both ways. Go back over here, 1.25 inches. What's half of 1.25 inches? Well, what's half of a half? Or half of a whole, a half. What's half of a quarter? An eighth. So a half plus a quarter. So yeah, let's just do this. 1 inch, 1/4 divided by 2 equals 5/8. Okay. Yeah, we can do the math. I'm a little flustered today. So I'm going to click on offset. I'm going to type in 5/8, hit enter. And I'm going to put one on either side, and then I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to match properties. And there I have my first window that is this size. Now, notice in my drawing here, I have 28XX. So that is 2 foot 8 inches wide, and it can be any height. So I just leave that as XX. So I'm going to highlight all of this. I'm going to, you guys can't see it, but there's this stupid screen in front of me that keeps popping down. I'm going to create, and I'm going to call this 30 inches DW. So that is 30-inch double hung window. Pick my point, and again, now on this one here, I want to go center. I want to drop that in on the center of the outside. I got to think about this. The enter of the on the outside. So the center of the outside there. Click on that. Hit enter. Okay, it pops up. Now we have a 30-inch DW window. So if I have a wall that's being, that I'm drawing, and I know that my and I know I'm going real fast. Don't worry about it. I'm just trying to get something up here for you guys to see as a visual. I'm going to have to ask Sherry Lynn about, no, I haven't done it. Okay. So now I have a wall here. If I know that a window is going to be like 5 feet away from that wall, I can do an offset. All right. Then I can grab my window and I come in here and place it, hit 0, or, if for some reason it is on the side, 5 feet, yes, then I can come in here and I can drop it where that is, and then I can rotate it up to make sure that it's in there correctly. And then I get rid of that. And that line right there should not be here. Let me just go over here to 1. It's all right. I know yeah, see that's line. I knew that line wasn't there. Good grief. Okay. I know sometimes when I'm trying to explain things, I'm walking through it and I get frazzled because I'm trying to make sure that I get everything explained and I forget some other things. So my dang drawing there was wrong in the first place. Goodness gracious. All right, so what do I got to do? I got to fix this thing. So I can highlight this and I can hit edit. And is this the one? Yes, this is the one. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to take this line out. And then I'm going to close editor and it's going to ask to save. Yes, save. Okay, so now there's the real thing. So let's try this again. Good Lord. 5 feet. Bingo. Bingo. I'm going to lay this one in here since it's already on the palette. I'm going to grab this one and put it in here. And I'm going to go upward at it. Get rid of those two lines that I was just using as a reference. Now here is what I was thinking. So once we get rid of that, now you see how clean that window looks. So this is, and I'm getting ahead of myself. Don't try to copy this. This is 4 inches here. And then what I normally do is I show a 1 inch, I show a 1 inch siding line, and I'm just going to call that hide. That's awful big, isn't it? You know what? I think I've done something. I know I have. I told you to download hide 2, didn't I? Hide 2. That is correct. I did. Lee, I'm so sorry, guys. You need to change that to hide, not hide 2. Real quick and easy way to do that is just type in 0.5 here in the line things, and it changes there. That still looks awful big. We go 0.25. That looks more like what it's supposed to go. Okay. So anyway, so this is the siding line, and you'll see that it butts into the side of that, and it's kind of invisible. When we go to do any type of dimensioning, we're going to dimension off of the faces of stud rather than the siding anyway. Okay, so that takes care of the windows. I want you to continue doing the windows and getting your elevations. Make sure you continue and don't put that line in for your plan. Okay, so let's keep going. You got some doors. Okay, there's tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of doors. So you got your work cut out for you. And again, if any of you need to come in and work on things, by all means, do so. If I'm there and I'm not in the class, I'll be happy to help you. So let's start this time with the plan. All right, so instead of going back and forth to those, this stupid drawing and playing games with this thing, I'm just going to draw it right there below it. Okay, just for simplicity. So doors, let me go ahead and just make this known. Doors are sold in 3 foot 0, 2 foot 8, 2 foot 6, 2 foot 4, 2 foot 0, and when it gets smaller than 2 foot 0, generally it is a what I'm trying to say, it's a special made door. I'm gonna come back up here and I'm gonna say these are singles. Okay, when I say single, I mean it's a single door. It's not a double door. Right? These are sliders. This is a double door. Okay, so I have all of these already drawn for outswing, for inswing, for sliders, screen doors. So I've just got a whole bunch of stuff that I've already drawn up. That, again, if you want to pause the video and snip this so that you can use this as a guide, by all means do so. Notice that I've got all the swings going in different directions. I've got right and left hand swings, and these are right and left hand swings. That way I can just grab it and go, and I don't have to spend a whole lot of time placing it and flipping it and so forth like that, which I will show you how to do that. So let's do a 3-0 door. All right, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click on the first corner, and notice up here it is 1.5 inches by varies, whatever. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to say that it's 36 inches, which is 3.0, and then the second one is going to be 1.5. All right, so I went 3.0 and then I went 1.5, and that gave me my door slab. Highlight that, change it over to a door. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Let me just do this then. Copy all of this. I'm gonna go over here to where I was working so that my palette looks like y'all's. All right, I'm gonna highlight that, and I'm gonna change that to, oh man, it just copied every one of them, didn't it? Son of a biscuit eater. Because all of these others were different. Son of a biscuit eater. Let's see. Did it change that now, or is it gonna keep it all in there? Okay, it changed it. All right, so I gotta play with this just a minute. I'm gonna change all of those to 0. Now I'm gonna copy and put them in here. Now notice that everything looks funky now. So I can go in and change all of this back the way I had it before. A door. A door. Okay. Ain't gonna worry about the window. We're done with the window. Match property. A door. And all of that is a door. Okay. Same color, I mean. Okay, so except for the walls. Don't make your walls, leave those walls. All right, so I'm gonna highlight my door slab. I'm gonna make that a door. Okay, so now that it's yeller, I'm going to come over here, and I can go ahead and change this over to wall if I want to. I'm going to hit line. I'm going to come down here and click on this, and I'm going to pull down to, we're going to make an interior door first. So 3.5, enter, escape, highlight, copy, and paste. Okay, so far so good. Going to make a, let's see, we're doing an interior door, so forget that. We're doing an interior door. All right, so I want to put my swing on it. All right, so I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to rotate. I'm going to click on this top corner, and I can rotate it out, and I want to rotate it to 45-degree angle, or 315, I believe it said. Okay, so you see where we're getting. We're getting close. This is almost done already. Go up here to circle. Click on circle. Find your center point there at the where the door hinges would be. Pull out all the way to the end. Cool beans. Hit trim. And it's not going to read that line. Trim. Okay, now we get rid of that reference line we put in there. Match properties. A door. A door. Now you have a 3.0 door swing. All right. What I usually do is I go in here and I call it that, and I always put it at the single line text. I usually always and forever put it at the same angle, 3068. Nope. Got to hit enter again. 3068. And I don't know why it is giving me such a fit today. So rotate. And put it in there. I know I went through and set the drawings up with you guys, but I don't know. I must not have saved it with mine. I have to go back and check to see what I've done. And also make the number, no, you need to make that note or dimension. Text, there it is, text. I knew it was one of those. Okay, so highlight all of that, create 3068. You can call it a door if you want. Pick point. I usually pick the where the hinges are. Okay, put that in there, and notice that we got it here. So it's, you know, we're growing all the time. Now I'm going to take this same one and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to pull it over here, and I'm going to explode it. I'm going to draw me a line in here. I'm going to offset 1.5 inches. I'm going to offset 4 inches. I'm going to highlight and pull this line over to where it matches that one. Same here. I'm going to hit my extend, or I'm going to type in EX. I'm going to extend this one over as well. So let's go back to EX. And I'm using this as a reference. So I'm going to go trim, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, and get rid of that, and get rid of that. See how it looks? I could just have easily said, let's see, you can pull back forward. I could just easily went in here and hit delete. Again, I'm overthinking stuff while I'm trying to explain it to you. Once you get the hang of it and you practice doing this, then you know, you too can do it and not even be thinking about it. But I tell you what, sometimes when you go to explain it, it gets the best of you. So again, I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to go create. I'm going to say 3068 X door. Exterior door. So that's an exterior door, X door. Pick point, same back over here with the hinge, hit OK. We've got that door in there. So those two, this one, the interior door will come before the exterior door when on your list. Okay, I think you're getting the hang of this, guys. All right, so this is right now, this is just a 6-panel exterior, a 6-panel door. It can be interior, it can be exterior. This is it could be wood, it could be fiberglass. It doesn't matter at this point. We use these for this particular drawing for all of them. So again, I want you to snip this and save it so you can refer back to it. And it is so simple. Don't fret with it, because I know some of you are like, what? I can't do this. I can't do this. Yes, you can. All right. Notice that I clicked my rectangle and I just kind of passed over that point right there. Okay. You're not going to be able to do that because you're not going to have the drawing, but just so you know, you can highlight, you know, something like that to make it even. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in 3 foot 0 or 36 by 6'8". In this case, it's 80. And I always do that. I'm so sorry. Let me show you what I'm doing wrong here. Pull that out. I'm pulling in a negative way. See over there where it says 6. See over there where it says 9'1" and 7/8. It's negative. And that's my fault. I'll keep doing that. So since I'm going in this direction, X is positive, but because I'm going down, the Y is negative. All right, so I'm going to type in 36 negative 80. Bam, that's where it needs to be. I am going to offset it 4 inches. I'm going to go back in here, and I'm going to take this center piece here and this one here, and I'm going to explode both of them. Okay, so now instead of one, there are a whole bunch of pieces. Type in EX for extend. I'm going to extend those 2 bottom ones there. I'm going to push in my shift button. I'm going to pull back over that, and I'm going to get rid of those. So now I've got just my door. I'm going to go back up here to offset. Notice that it's 4 inches here and it's 4 inches there. So I've already got 4 inches in there, so I can hit enter. I'm going to go 4 inches, 4 inches. Notice that I got 4 inches there too. So I'm going to go ahead and drop down 4 inches. We're getting there. We're getting there, guys. Next, I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to type in 12. Where did I get 12? Right there where it says 1 foot. All right, so I'm going to go over 12 and over 12. All right, right here I have 9. So I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to type in 9. We have 4, so I'm going to hit enter and type in 4. We have 2 foot, so I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to type in 2 foot or 24 inches. Now we've got 6 inches. Now we have another 2 feet, and that will leave us with 9 at the bottom. Let's clean it up. We're going to trim. And there was doing this funky thing again. Why is it doing that? See, if I do one at a time, it's fine. I've never had that problem before. I'm not kidding. Never in my wildest. Okay, so now I have the outside ones done. I'm going to show you a trick. So I want to get all of these inner ones here. Okay, so it is this little one here is 1/4 inch, and the bigger one there is 1 1/8 inches. I could go in there and say 0.25, and I'm going to go click, click. See how they cross there? See how they don't cross here, and they got a diagonal in here? So what we're going to do is, what I want you to do is I want you to back up instead of cutting all of those out, back to where we had here. And I want you to change over to a door, then hit rectangle. If you went ahead and delete, if you went ahead and done what I was doing there as I'm going along, that's fine. You just got practice at cutting them. And hopefully you got practice at redoing or undoing. Okay, so now I have all my little circles in there. And now I'm going to go and I'm going to get rid of all of these extra lines, except for that outside line, extra lines in here, so that it just leaves me with that. Okay, how cool is that? All right, so my first line is 1/4 inch away from the outside line. Offset 0.25. Click, go to the inside. 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 Okay, enter. Enter again, and this time I want you to type in 1.125 or type in 1 1/8. And this is from the inside line there. So click on the inside one and do the same thing to all of these. All right, so now we have all those little boxes and we don't have to cut and trim all of those lines in there. The only thing I can do now is I can come in and I can add my little diagonal lines in here like so. I can make it easier and I can copy that and put them down here. And I want you to do this too. Practice on using more than just one command. Don't use, don't just draw everything. Use copy and paste. Okay. Now I've got them all on this side here. Watch this. I'm going to highlight just the diagonal line. I'm going to go to mirror. Click on the center of that box, pull down, hit click again or click again. Do you want to erase these? No. I want to keep them there. Look at there. Ain't that purty? Real purty. Now, watch this mess. I'm going to get rid of that. No, I just drew it. That's okay. We're going to highlight all of those. We're going to hit mirror. I'm going to grab the center of that line right there, and I'm going to pull down. And now I just put them in there. Put her there, pal. Put her there. I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to copy the properties and make it all one. I'm going to highlight it. Create 3068 6P for panel, 6 panel door. Pick point. This time I'm going to pick the bottom. On windows we pick on the top. On doors we pick on the bottom. I do not want the trim piece. I want the door slabs. I'm going to click right there. Everything looks good. We got our door here. And now this is a block. Got it? Good. Okay, so do all of your doors. Okay, 30, 20, or 28, 26, 24, 20. Do all of these in those sizes. Remember that you can copy and paste, explode, change, size, and so forth. The biggest thing is this number and this number, when you go down, is going to vary. Okay. All you got to do is the math. Actually, yeah, let's make a note here so that you guys remember that. Oh, come on. Wow. I really need to go in here and set up this stuff like I told you guys to do. Can't believe I didn't save it. There. So that and that are going to vary. Just those two there are going to vary. The width. So we go down here and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so they just vary. They get smaller. All of this stays the same. The only thing is the width changes, gets smaller. Okay. All right. If you have any questions, again, you can text me and ask, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. If you need extra help, come in and see me. You might want to send me a text to make sure that I'm there and I'm not in class. Any questions? You know how to get a hold of me. See you guys.